Alrighty, so my name is Katie Murphy, and I will be doing a pitch on Gizmos, which is a web based software. So you can find it on the internet at gizmos.explorelearning.com. And so this is a tool that is mainly used for finding online simulations that you can add to a class and for any topic based on the curriculums. So as you can see here, my profile, I'm only on the trial right now, but you can get a full subscription. But you have access to different types of gizmos and lesson materials, which is pretty nice. So you might have to pay for this one, but right now I'm on a 30-day trial, so we're just kind of going through that. So let's just go to my homepage. And so here, you have all these different gizmos, just something that I'll love. You can have classes, so I have like a trial class here. I haven't put anything in here yet. I've already put in that I'm from North Carolina, so it looks at the academic standards that I'm in. So North Carolina math, I can view that. Here are the Common Core standards, high school, standard course of studies. I can look at these. Basically any course of study in North Carolina and the Common Core standards I can click on. So let's say I was doing math 2, I can click on these. And here are a bunch of the standards that they have listed. And then they have different gizmos that you can click on. So let's say I was teaching them about quadratics, completing the square. So we'll look at quadratics in vertex form. And it kind of gives me a info. So here's some lesson info. So this is the lesson info. It has exploration sheets that I can look up. So if I open this as a PDF, here's like an exploration worksheet that I can give my students that explains, walks them through the gizmo, which I'll show in a second. It also has a teacher guide. So if I was a teacher and I wanted to run through this activity, it has suggestions that I could use for teaching students how to use the vertex form. Also has a vocabulary sheet. So here's some vocabulary that they will go through that I can give students or I can use for my benefit as a teacher. Now if I want to actually launch the gizmo, I go up here to launch. And as you can see, here's the gizmo. So I can control the A value and it will move the graph beside it. I can move the H value and I can move the K value and it'll show it beside it. So this is just me playing with it. So it shows vertex, shows polynomial, shows axis of symmetry. There's some different tools that I can use, so I can take a screenshot. Let's try arrows. Drag arrow icon from tool palette to activate it. So like maybe I can, like if the teacher asks, point to where I'm going or point to the vertex, it's right there. It also has a table feature, looks like. So it looks like it's actually showing the max and the min. I wonder what happens if you change it. Interesting. So it looks like kids can actually like go through this and look at different things. And if I want, I guess if you can add it to the class, you can add it to here. Add trial class, it's now my class. So if I go back to my home page, it's right here. So let's try and find another one. And so you can go to find gizmos as well. And they have different ones. So gizmos by academic standard, which is what we did. I'm gonna click North Carolina. There's all the standards that I can need. But if I don't want to find by standard, say I want to do by topic, let's say I want to do something with geometry. Here's a lot of different ones that we have. Let's look at lines and angles. So we have the ones that they have for different angles. Let's look at angle theorems. I'm going to click on that. And again, we have all of our exploration sheets, things that I just shown with the other one. So if I launched it, so the condition, let's say it's a congruent angle. It's non-adjacent. If I show the angle measures, they're the same. Show the ruler. So I can actually measure the lengths, which is kind of cool. So here's another ruler that I can use. It's pretty cool. And I can measure the angle. So if I didn't have the angle measures, there it is. So that's congruent angles. If they're adjacent, same thing. I could go through, do that for vertical angles, complementary congruent angles, complementary to the same angle, all of those things. So there's a lot of different things that I can look at as a student. And here's some assessment questions that can be given to students that are also here, so they can go through and answer these questions, and they can use this to help them solve it, which is pretty cool. So it's pretty interactive. So if I was a student, I could go through and check my answers as well. So that's us playing with it. So to use this as a tool, what I could do as a teacher is I could find a gizmo given the theorem. So let's just say I was going back to my class and I was doing quadratics in vertex form based on the standard. I can actually assign my students this gizmo. So using this enrollment code, I could assign this. There's a student enrollment handout. So I could give this to my students, give them the enrollment number, which is right here, and they have it, and it would take them to this page. So then they'd be able to click on the gizmos, so they'd launch it. They'd be able to go through it, go through the assessment questions. They'd be able to do some discovery, do some questions, and they can check their answers. And also, I would be able to see their results here. So since I don't have results right now, because this is just a trial run, I won't be able to see, but I do get the correct answers to each. And if they wanted more practice, I could give them the worksheets that I was showing earlier. So this is a pretty cool tool. I can't really make gizmos on my own. I think they were already made, and they were made to like correlate with the standards that were already there. So say if I wanted to find another gizmo, you can also do gizmos by textbook, but nowadays most people don't really use textbooks. So I think sticking with grades and topics and the standards are pretty cool. So again, like if I wanted to find another one, say on exponents and powers, here's some right here. So if we wanted to look at multiplying exponents, we could launch that gizmo, looking at it, launch it, and I could assign it to my students. So I think it's a pretty cool tool to have. So if I was a student, I would just put in like 6 times 6. Actually, that would not be correct. It would actually be this bad boy. And it would actually tell me what to do. So that's pretty cool. And let's say I put in the wrong one. It would tell me what to change. And again, there's assessment questions that I can use as well. So I think that Gizmos is a pretty cool tool to use, especially if there's like certain practice on certain topics in a standard that you want to hit on. It's not free, so again, I'm on a 30-day trial, but I feel like if you were able to put a grant in with your student, with your principal, they could find pretty cool uses for it. So, yeah, that is Gizmos, and thank you for watching.